Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Milton Planning Board November board meeting. Ms. Van Dens, would you lead us in the pledge to the flag?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have just a couple of announcements this evening. First, Ms. Zawada has emailed all of us regarding the Saratoga County Annual Planning and Zoning Conference on Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. Well, this is normally this is our monthly planning board meeting. We should be done at the city center by 5 and plenty of time to get back to town hall by 7 p.m., albeit it'll be a long day together. But rather than attempt to reschedule, does anybody have any concerns about that? We haven't set the 2026 calendar yet, but I'm assuming we're going to probably keep the same second Wednesday of the month, so on. But barring that, we'll continue to operate with that. So if you haven't registered with her or confirmed you're going to try to go, they're trying to get that registrations in a timely fashion. A couple of us from the town have met with Delaware Engineering on November 5th to discuss the solar and battery storage local law options. As many of you know, the town board did adopt a moratorium on community solar siting and battery storage siting in the town of Milton. That's moratorium is set to expire in January, and it's likely that we will not have any proposed changes fully drafted by then. So the suggestion is that the town board consider extending that moratorium for at least 6 months. In the meantime, we're going to continue working with Delaware Engineering on drafting some proposed language for consideration, and those proposals will likely be sent to this board for review probably early next year to get that going. So we can expect to see some of that happening. And as you can see, I think in front of the dais here, there is a Toys for Tots box. So if you're interested in donating any toys or even cash, you can do that. So if anybody is interested in bringing something in, I think they're going to start collecting these boxes around December 1st. Anybody heard? So you probably have to do it before our next meeting, but you can drop it by town hall, or if you've got cash you'd like to bring it into the clerk's office or wherever, and that can be dropped off here. That's all I have. Anybody else got any announcements? Okay. Our first order of business this evening is approval of the October meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the Milton Planning Board meeting minutes of October 8th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Whittle, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Right. Is there any changes or discussion of the minutes? There being none, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano?
Yes.
Dula?
Yes.
Ms. Van Denza?
I was not at the last meeting, but I did review the minutes and I approve.
Mr. Whittle?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Ms. Marin?
Yes.
Chairman Bartow?
Yes. And I did not acknowledge this in my announcement. I noticed we have some students here. Are you from Saratoga or Ballston Spa or? Okay, so you need to get some signatures for credits or something? Nope, just here to observe? Excellent. Welcome everybody, by the way, but it's great to see young adults here. At this point, we'll open the meeting for public comment. Please note that we do have 2 public hearings this evening, one for a minor subdivision at 652 Acland Boulevard, the other one for a minor subdivision at 529 Sodeman Road. So if you have comments on those projects, please wait until we open the hearings so you can be on the record for them. Any other public comments you may have on any other matter, you can bring them up to us at this point. Since we do have both virtual and in-person opportunities, if you're zooming in on us and you'd like to make a comment, please use the hand wave feature. I'd ask that any public comments be limited to 3 minutes and try to avoid redundant comments. If you have comments in writing, please summarize them. And if you'd like to leave us a copy, leave them with our secretary to the board, and we'll make sure everybody gets copies of those. So at this point, I'll open the meeting to public comment at 7:04 p.m. Does anybody like to address the board at this time? Anybody online?
No hands.
No hands. Okay, all right. There being no public comment, I will close the public comment period at 7:05 PM. Our first project this evening is a minor three-lot subdivision that's been before us for several months at 652 Acland Boulevard. I believe we finally do have all the information that we've been waiting for from DEC as well as Saratoga County, and now have a complete application. Ms. Maruso, do you have any comments for us at this point?
Good evening, thank you. As you've indicated, the applicants have been before the board previously, and since their last visit and discussion with the proposed minor subdivision, I was able to meet with the Commissioner of Public Works and the aviation engineer from McFarland Johnson to discuss what they had issued as a recommended a recommendation for pursuing easements in the RPZ zone, which was issued through Saratoga County Planning Board. Since that time, the applicants have indicated their willingness to grant those easements with the county. And as a result of that progress, I would recommend that as the board considers reviewing this application, that should they consider approval of the minor subdivision, that it be subject to the review, issuance, and acceptance of the abrogation easements in a fashion similar to what we saw with Cesar subdivision. And I would condition that with a building permit. That would be my recommendation.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of our planner at this point? Okay, we have not been able to complete our environmental assessment and our impact assessment on this project since we were waiting for some of the county information and some DEC final stuff. So at this point, I will read the 11 Part 2 State Environmental Quality Assessment, Impact Assessment questions. So I'm going to read those and give my recommendation for the assessment. If anybody has any questions, stop me and we can discuss them. So question 1, will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation? I have no impact. Question 2, will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of the use of land? I have no or small impact. Question 3, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? I have a no or small impact. Question 4, will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics caused by the establishment of a critical environmental area? We don't have any critical environmental areas, so I have a no. Will the proposed action have an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? And I have no impact. Question 6, will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? I have no or small impact. Question 7, will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies or public-private wastewater treatment facilities? I have no or small impact. Question 8, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? I have no impact. Question 9, will the proposed action result in the adverse change to natural resources, for example, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna? I have no or small impact. Question 10, will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? I have no or small impact. And question 11, will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? I have no impact. Does the board have any questions or comments on that? Okay. Having found that there are no significant adverse impacts, I will entertain a motion finding that the planning board has determined that the action will not result in any significant adverse and environmental impacts, and the chair is authorized to sign and file the short environmental assessment form part 3 as a negative declaration, and that an environmental impact statement will not be prepared. Motion?
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
What? Second?
I'll second.
And thence. Any comments or discussion? There being none, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Dula,
Yes.
Ms. Van Denza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Ms. Marin,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes. Okay. Okay, having completed our State Environmental Quality Review Act obligations, I will now open the public hearing at 7:10 PM for the minor two-lot subdivision at 652 Acland Boulevard. Does anyone choose to address the board at this time? We have one comment. Please come up, if you just give your name and address.
Can I stand here?
At the mic, please. Yes.
My name is Lisa Cheney and I live at 654 Acland. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to talk with you in regards to the subdivision at 652. I am acutely familiar with that property, as when my husband and I first decided to move to that neighborhood, that was the lot that we were interested in purchasing. And we were told that the house needed to be pushed all the way up against 654 because the property was up against wetlands and could not be touched. And that property would remain untouched, and that if we were to purchase that lot, you know, as I said, that the house would need to be just snugged right up against 654 and that we could do nothing else with the land. So based on that, we decided to move to 654, knowing that we couldn't do much with that land. We chose to move to that neighborhood and we chose to move to that specific area and lot because of the surrounding trees. That was what we had envisioned for our home and our family. However, of course, that seems to have changed. And, you know, I certainly no ill will against my neighbors. I just am questioning why and why now? Why are we going to subdivide this? Why are we going to take this land that was meant to be wetlands and preserved and change that? Because I can't see any good reasons. And so I posed that question out to the board as to why and why now.
Okay, so we do have a valid application for a subdivision before us. The applicant has gone through the thorough review, including a wetlands jurisdictional determination by the Department of Environmental Conservation, who has the wetlands jurisdiction. It's not the town of Milton that has jurisdiction over wetlands. And they have gotten the determination that, yes, a wetland exists, but that the two lots that they are proposing, in addition to the lot that they have, can be laid out with buildable envelopes that do not encroach within the wetland and buffer area of the wetland that's there.
Right.
So
Can I,
what was done back in 2001 originally, our records don't show extremely clearly what was done, and I don't know who was telling you that it would never be built before, but they clearly have regulatory jurisdiction clearance from DC that 2 additional lots could be provided for. And that is what they call a project jurisdiction. Now, when they actually go and propose to physically locate a structure on those, DC is reserved the right to look at those structures when they come in. Based on what's been provided to us, if they're within those building envelopes, they should be fine, but DC will take another, so to speak, bite of the apple and look at those.
and so can I ask why the letters are going out now informing neighbors?
Oh, because we had a public hearing and we notify every neighbor within 300 feet of the property that there's going to be a public hearing on a proposed subdivision That's there.
Thank
So,
you.
so that was the notification. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board at this point? Sure, please come on up. Just your name and address, please.
My name is Frederick Cheney. I'm at 654 Acland as well.
Yep.
I just need to understand, obviously the house has been built, beautiful house. What this hearing is about is actually the subdivision.
Yeah.
To create the 2 additional lots.
Yes.
Okay. Otherwise, it would be considered to be like a carriage house or something like that, which according to the plans, we could do. But I do have a question about the wetlands. The DEC wetlands plot that I pulled off of the wearemilton.org website was listed as updated April of 22. And it looks like it's still wetlands, which is odd to me. And I think a lot of this is just strange in how it's gone about kind of. It seems like we're backing into this, getting public comment after it's already done. So that's just my feeling.
Sure.
And it just feels weird that it's operated like.
So I don't know what the reference on that map says for April of 2022, but
I could give it to you.
no, it's fine. But as of January 1st of 2025, DEC's wetlands regulations have changed. So there's no longer technically mapped wetlands in New York State. So DEC now requires a certified biologist, and in this case, a actual DEC person came out and did the boundaries. So what's on the survey map that was submitted to us was a DEC delineated wetland.
Okay.
And then the applicant did what was known as a jurisdictional determination. Say, okay, the wetland was delineated. Does DEC have jurisdiction? DEC said, yes, we have jurisdiction. This is what's known as an urban wetland under our new wetland regulations, effective January 1st of 2025. And it's here. And that the new lots appear to meet the setbacks required by that wetland delineation and determination. So they're set back far enough. However, at this point, there's no actual construction proposed. So you don't know where the actual building is going to be within the building envelope of the subdivision. So there's just a boundary that says we could put a structure within this area with a septic system and a well. It just gives us what is known as a building envelope.
Well, there is a house there.
There is an existing house.
No, there's a house that was put.
There is a house on the existing lot of record,
Have you been?
and there's
on that?
2 new lots. Yes, we've been by it.
Have you seen the new house that's on one of the proposed lots?
There's no lot, in my drive-by as well as our staff's drive-by, there's no lot, no new house on the 2 lots that are being proposed. There's a house under construction
Yes.
in a different lot, but not on the 2 lots that are being proposed.
Okay,
That's according to our building department.
okay,
So,
interesting.
so there are these 2 new lots
Yes,
that meet the setbacks.
yes,
But DEC has reserved the right to say when somebody comes, and it's really only one of the lots that's closest to the wetland, they will require to look at it again when it comes in. So whoever goes to build on that lot will have to also go and say, okay, I'm going to place the building right here in this buildable area.
But
And
there is no more DEC mapped
there are
wetland.
no more, well, the maps that are out there are for informational purposes only.
Interesting.
But they went and had a delineation. That delineation is good for 5 years.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yes. Anyone else like to address the board at this time? Anybody online?
No hands.
Oh, my computer. Okay. Okay. Last call for any other comments on the project at this point. All right. Okay, there being no further comments, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing at 7:20 PM.
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
John Whittle. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
No, no. Is there any further discussion from the board at this point? There being no further
I
discussion?
have a question.
Go ahead, yes.
The availability for the public to see what we're seeing, for example, on the site location map that we have.
The subdivision map?
Yes. And availability for the public to see
Sure,
that.
yeah. Do you have
you-
that? You can pull up? You
The
will?
reason I say that, I think that would have,
Sure. No, no,
there's
we-
some confusion of what the
Yep.
property looks like.
Yep,
And
we can
perhaps
pull it
that
up.
would help for the public to see what we're looking at.
Yep. So you have that map. I want to make sure I get the date of it.
Yeah.
And I-
October 9th. I did cite it in the resolution. So this is what we're looking at and what was presented to the board with the application. And you can see that the wetlands are there and they proposed 250 or 652A and B. They can have proposed houses that are within the DEC wetland.
Well, the buffer is,
Buffer.
you see the
That's
buffer
what I'm
at
at, yeah.
100 feet.
Yep.
And that impacted the buildable area on 652A. And then you see 652B. So 652A, and that where they have a building there is just conceptual. You don't know that that's exactly where they're going to place that building. Can be anywhere in that envelope that's there. But you can see that curve in the building envelope, that's where it's been placed to avoid the buffer area.
Was there a different subdivision that came in from the other section of Acland beyond the woods into that area?
Not into this lot. This was the 7 acres that are associated with 652. There
There was
was a different subdivision on a different parcel.
That's their house.
That came off the property that comes from the other side of Acland. And then you have the other one, which was the Ferone land that they used to have,
Mhm.
which is across the street.
The 3 houses across the street.
Plus another lot.
I just hope that that clears up.
Yeah.
Some of the misconceptions or lets you see what we see.
And when this originally came in, that wetland is delineated there had not been updated. That's what we've been waiting for. So they actually had a certified biologist, which happened to be a DEC employee, that came out and GPSed and mapped that wetland boundary. And then they had the jurisdictional determination, which classified it as a urban wetland, which in turn set the jurisdiction, their jurisdiction in play. But so, okay. So with that, we do know that there is the county easement for aviation that has not yet been finalized.
Correct.
So we would have one, if we were to consider approving this, there would be one condition subject to the final county. Oh, correct. I'm sorry. We didn't vote.
Right.
So there being no further discussion on the motion to close the public hearing, please poll the board.
Ms. Marcano?
Yes.
Padula?
Yes.
Ms. Van Denza?
Yes.
Mr. Whittle?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Miss Marin?
Yes.
Chairman Barto?
Yes, okay. The hearing is closed. Okay, so if we're to consider this approval of a 3-lot minor subdivision, there are portions of these lots that are located in the approach area for the airport. So the county is required to have what they call this approach easement, navigation easement, which is, the language has not been completely finalized between the property owner and the county, but they've agreed to it. So that's really not up to us to do. So the recommendation from council is that we could approve this on the condition that the filing with the county clerk of the navigation easement benefiting Saratoga County Airport be filed satisfactory to the county DPW, and that to the extent that the disturbances take place within any runway protection zone, have to comply to the standards set forth in the town code of sections 15418 and 18028, which just deal with our best management practices. But having done that, it would just be that condition that the easement get filed before we issue building permits. Correct?
There are special conditions for the runway protection in there.
Okay, so yes, in 18028, there are special conditions for the protection of the runway protection zone. So with that, I would entertain a motion to approve a 2-lot minor subdivision at 429 Sodeman Road. Oh, sorry, 652 Acland Boulevard. Sorry, reading the wrong part of my agenda here. Subject to the conditions for filing with the county of a navigation easement benefiting Saratoga County Airport for the purposes described in the resolution satisfactory to the Saratoga County Department of Public Works and the county attorney, and 2, to the extent that any land disturbances take place within the runway protection zone overlay zone district, it shall comply with the standards set forth in sections 15418 and 18028.1 of the town code and include employment of best management practices identified by the Milton Planning Department. Does anybody have any questions on those? Or I'll entertain the motion.
And just to clarify, that's a 3-lot subdivision, right?
Correct. 3-lot
3
subdivision.
lot, right?
Pardon me.
I'll make the motion.
Jim Marsicano, a second.
I'll second. Wow, you got it.
Jim Frey. Now, any discussion, particularly on the conditions? Does anybody have any questions? There being no further discussion, please poll the board.
Mr. Marcicano?
Yes.
Padula?
Yes.
Ms. Van Denza?
Yes.
Mr. Whittle?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Miss Marin?
Yes.
Chairman Barto?
Yes. Okay. Moving on. Next, we have a public hearing for a 2-lot minor subdivision at 429 Sodeman Road. Having completed our State Environmental Quality Review Act for this project, and before us a complete application, I will open the public hearing at 7:29 p.m. Is there anyone who would like to address the board regarding the minor subdivision at 429 Sodeman Road?
Members of the planning board, my name is Matt Jones. I'm a lawyer. I practice here in Saratoga Springs with Jones C. Grassi. And we're here on behalf of the Gaba family for this two-lot subdivision, which has evolved in a manner over the past several months as we spent some time before the Zoning Board of Appeals in an attempt to work through. There's the family, I want to say the family farm that's been in the Gaba
Yeah, we're in the
family
hearing.
for generations. And on that plot of land is a barn. And so the Gaba family was looking to sell the principal residence, which is there. And we ran into the issue. We have a barn, which would not be a conforming use for a single family residential zone. So ultimately, we were successful in securing a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals to remedy that single issue there, so that the application for subdivision is really for a two-lot subdivision, one being the home there, and the second being the barn. It's not as complicated or simple as I can make it.
That's fine. No, I think we're pretty familiar with it. Heard a lot about it. Does the board have any? Well, I guess the other question I would is, does anybody else choose to want to address the board during this public hearing? Does anybody have their hand up online?
No.
Okay. Then with that, before we forget to do it, since there's nobody that chooses to address the public or the board at this time in the public hearing, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing at 7:31 PM.
Also move.
Ray, second.
I'll second.
Whittle, any discussion? There being none, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Ms. Padula,
Yes.
Ms. Vendanza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Ms. Marin,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes. Okay. Does the board have any questions of the applicant or their attorney at this point? Ms. Baruso, do you have anything for us at this point? I don't think you had anything more, do you?
At this time, thank you.
Okay. Anything from the board? Okay, so are we ready to move? All right. If there's no further questions or comments from the board, I will entertain a motion to approve a two-lot minor subdivision at 429 Sodeman Road. There were no conditions at this point.
Mr. Chairman, I
Hold
so
on,
move.
hold on.
Well,
Okay, so the only thing that the resolution has is, to the extent that any further land disturbance takes place, it shall comply with the standards set forth in section 154-18 and include the employment of stormwater best management practices identified by the Milton Planning Department. Could be subject to a future building permit. And there were a whole bunch of other requirements from the ZBA that we don't need to get involved in. So,
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
okay, John Whittle, second. Bernadette Bendance. Any discussion, questions from the board? There being none, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Padula,
Yes.
Ms. Vendanza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Ms. Marin,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes. Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Finally, this evening, we have a final plat subdivision, major subdivision submission before us on 272 Stone Church Road. This project's been before us for some time now in several formats, and I believe we have a final complete application here. Mr. Danimal, do you have an update for us?
Certainly. Good evening. For the record, Joe Danable with the Environmental Design Partnership. We did obtain the preliminary approval with several conditions. The conditions, I will summarize them, were generally due to outside agency reviews, Saratoga County Planning Board, DOH, DEC, Saratoga County Sewer District, all the usual suspects. So what I do want to update the board on is here on March 18, 2025, the Saratoga County Board of Supervisors did authorize the abrogation easement over this property. We have complete language that has been approved by the Saratoga County Board of Supervisors. The easements are shown on the plot, as well as separate maps within the subdivision set that you can review, showing the three different, the runway protection zone and the two different services associated with that. The abrogation easement has not yet been filed. That will be filed upon the time when these maps are filed in the county concurrently with them, because the easement references the maps to be filed. So it has to be done in that manner. So we are complete with that. The Saratoga County DPW and Saratoga County Planning Board reviewed the intersection improvements at Stone Church Road and Geyser Road. This is the final agreed upon four-way stop sign installation process with the flashing signs for a period of time, all identified, and that has been also approved by the Saratoga County DPW. Now for the fun ones. Department of Health, we have a letter from Department of Health on August 29th that has no further comments. What they've identified is they want a letter from the DEC for the review of the sanitary sewer, and they want a letter from the DEC for the review of the Wallens Hollow service territory expansion. We have a reserve capacity commitment from Saratoga County Sewer District, so we are good with that. We have email correspondence from New York State DEC, two different divisions. One is what was referenced in the Saratoga County Department of Health letter, and that for the sewer extension, there are no additional comments. They are waiting on the DEC extension of the Rollins Hollow Water District. The Rollins Hollow Water District, which is the key piece of the puzzle that everybody needs to see before we start the concurrent final sign off from everybody. They have no additional comments. They are in receipt of an MOU between Rollins Hollow Waterworks and Heritage Springs Waterworks for an interconnect that was put into place. It was right about the beginning of COVID, and to everyone's knowledge, that memorandum of understanding between the two districts never actually existed, even though we have records of it going to the DEC. We think it just got lost during the period of COVID. So we do have that MOU has been reviewed by the DEC. Everyone's in agreement with it. And the final executed copies that have the signatures of Rollins Hollow and Heritage Springs on there has been sent. So we're expecting the final sign off from the district extension any day now, which would then trigger the DEC sewer review to be complete, which would then trigger the Saratoga County Board of Super, Saratoga County Health Department to be complete. So that was generally all the conditions of approval, which we are, I'd say about 99% there, just waiting on the final approval of the MOU or the final letter. It's already approved, just waiting on the final letter from New York State DEC. So we would be asking if the board would grant as the final approval with the condition that the letter related to the MOU and the other outstanding agency letters that are all sitting there waiting to be triggered be a final condition of the condition of the final approval. And lastly, there is the only other condition that we'd be looking for is there is an HOA to be formed associated with that will be taking ownership of the maintenance responsibilities for the mail kiosk, parking area, the sidewalk associated with the mail kiosk, and any community sign for the neighborhood. Everybody has agreed to establish that. The property will be sold to a developer, a builder who will be establishing the HOA. However, they will not be doing that until they take ownership. They can't take ownership until the property closes. But we do agree that as a condition of the approval that we won't obtain building permits until the HOA is filed. One of the things we've asked the board to consider is, right now, I think the consideration is the first building permit. We've asked the board that it be associated with the second building permit. Because today we could obtain a building permit for that lot as it sits right now. So we would like to see if we could have it associated with the second building permit so we can begin to build the model house while the HOA is being established with the Attorney General's office. So that is what we have, and we are looking for a final on those two conditions. One being the HOA be filed with the State Attorney General's office prior to the issuance of the second building permit. And two, condition that the district extension associated with the MOU is completed prior to the stamping of the final plans. Yeah, what is that?
Don't like bugs.
Let me qualify, go ahead. Very good over there. Approve it fast and you can get out of the room.
I don't have that DOH letter. What was the date of that DOH letter?
August 29th, 2025.
Okay.
And then the email correspondence we have from the DEC, no additional comments, is November
Have you sent
3rd
that to us?
and October 29th. I believe the DOH letter has been sent in.
I don't have it on our file.
We can certainly provide it.
You don't know.
Yep.
No, I only bring that up because that's been, obviously, these DOH approvals and DEC approvals have been sore on our side for several subdivisions. And I mean, as you may well know, we held up Rollins Hollow for some period of time waiting for that. And because it's very uncertain what DEC is going to do, given things here. And we still don't know what they're going to do. They've been holding Saratoga County hostage until they complete some master study of their system to say that their overall system can accept new connections. And we're totally silent from both the county and DC as to when that's going to be done and when we're going to get it. And our code does require us to have DC DOH sign off at this. So they at Rollins Hollow did get a temporary sign off, and we finally did their final plat approval. Prior to this final decision by DEC and the county coming to fruition. Have you talked to DEC about getting something like that approved on this? Because
We have all of those. We have all the letters from the DEC and DOH that they have no further comments on the engineering. They're waiting on the water district extension, the MOU. That's the only thing we're ever going to receive comments.
they don't have anything on the sewer though. I mean, DOH is obviously saying we're waiting for
DOH has
DEC.
nothing to do with sewer.
I thought you said this letter just said we're waiting to hear from DEC.
So what the letter says is DOH wants the letter from the DEC for approval of sanitary sewer main.
Yes.
And they want the letter from New York State DEC, different division, on the approval of Rollins Hollow water service territory.
So it's the sewer is what we're waiting for.
The sewer department would be Michelle LaFay.
That's the county.
Don't,
Oh, the
this is
sewer.
New York State DEC.
Okay.
Michelle LaFay. All of our comments have been addressed for the sewer extension, and once the water withdrawal permit, she references that, is modified, I will send you a letter of acceptance with P certification. So they've looked at the sewer. They have no more comments on the sewer.
What was that email?
That email was November 3rd, 2025. Related to the water withdrawal permit, we have a letter from DEC Josh Campbell that says we have no additional comments, provide the signed MOU, which the executed MOU has been provided to the DEC. We probably provided it.
That's for the water.
That's for the water extension. So they need to issue the letter, which is based on this MOU, which they've already reviewed and approved. It's now executed. We're just waiting on that.
That email is dated what?
That email is dated October 29th, 2025. Once they issue that letter, DEC Sewer, which has no more comments on sewer, issues us a letter. We give both of those letters to Saratoga County Health Department, who has no further comments on any of the infrastructure associated with the project. And we're able to start stamping and signing all the plans.
Correct. Now we have a wrinkle that we have a county health department.
Right, the county health, their DOH, New York State DOH is gone. They're not reviewing the subdivisions anymore. This is strictly your Saratoga County Health Department.
We don't have any of those letters in our file at this point, do we?
But I've seen.
I'm sure I can provide all of these into the file. It's pretty
Just so we
straightforward.
have them. Yeah, just so we have them.
Yeah. I mean, and ultimately, again, prior to signing of final plans, that we would not expect the town to stamp any of the final plans until these letters and plans carry the stamps of Saratoga County Sewer District as well as Saratoga County Health Department. I think the thing that's, not unique, but every one of the agencies that says they have no more comments other than provide the letter, which creates a chain reaction of everyone just shipping a new letter out.
No, I know. Just would be nice to have them all done. Would be nice.
We also need a security amount too. I don't know if Joe has that.
Oh, the final
Performance bond.
the final performance bonds.
Provided the estimate to town as part of our last session.
We're waiting for the value to be established. It's under being put on by Delaware, Junior, the performance guarantee project.
So we'd have to make anything conditioned on that. Too. I
Chairman
thought-
Bartow had made reference to the 336 Rowan Street subdivision that had been subject to kind of an extended timeline with the DOH approvals. One of the conditions that was stated was a dollar value of the performance guarantee for that particular subdivision. So we do think it's prudent to establish just an agreed upon value and make sure everyone's got their head around the same number when it gets approved. So we're not approving something that's too far afield. So I do understand that that's something that the board may be requesting in advance of people in order to agree on that figure. But we know that's still a big deal. We acknowledge that.
County health department as opposed to the state.
Yeah, on behalf of the applicant, we provided everything. It's actually several times now that the reviewing engineers are not getting us the information in time.
DOT.
We don't know. That's why it's just any required.
Okay.
We don't know. We could ask him and if he says, no, we don't need. We don't think we need state DOT.
All right. Does the board have any questions on this? So yes, you're correct. I mean, the bigger difference here is now with the county health department, 336 Rollins Street was all under the state health department. And that was kicking back and forth. I have no idea where the relationship is with DEC and the county's sewer system. The modeling that's going on to determine capacity and then how that affects whether or not, that back time with 336, DOH was not signing off on anything until DEC had finished that study with the county.
So
I don't know what Saratoga County's doing. Rowland Street, they weren't around when Rowland Street was approved last.
there's a few different things and try and elaborate on them.
I mean, how the county's approving signing off on septic systems when DEC's not saying, we're not sure we're going to let the county accept more waste until they finish this modeling. I don't know how that's working out.
And I think there's a couple different things at play here. So we are relying on a pressure system that goes into a pump station. So when we are dealing with the DEC, we have to do one of two things. If we have a pressurized system, we have to chase it to the next downstream pump station.
Yep.
And identify that that pump station has adequate flow. In this matter, we have done that, and the county or the DEC is satisfied that they have adequate flow at that point in time.
Yep.
The study you are talking about only revolves around gravity systems, which we do not have. Gravity that flows directly from the house into a gravity system and follows gravity all the way down to the sewage treatment plant. That's the study that you're referencing.
Yeah.
We don't have that here. We have addressed all DEC comments related to downstream flow. That's why we have the letter from Michelle Vey that says we have no more additional comments.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Okay. Because gravity after that pump station.
Correct, but the pump station pumps at a constant flow.
Okay.
So you're pumping that same.
No, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but it's just, all right. Okay.
Yeah, we wouldn't have got an email from Michelle Lefay that says she has no more comments if we were waiting on an additional study.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, we'll need copies of all those.
And we're doing the same thing at the bottom.
Oh, sorry.
Go.
sorry.
The bug again?
DEC's had all of our information since.
I get it. I get it.
Since May,
Yeah.
or sorry, since February. It's
Yep.
taken them 9 months and we've had multiple rounds of comments that we've
Okay.
gone through with them to get to the point where when we get this letter, it's one of the happiest days in our office for any project or this email.
No, I hear you. I hear you. All right. So let me walk you through some potential conditions and see if this is gonna flow here. The first is the following with the county clerk of easements benefiting Saratoga County Airport as approved by the Saratoga County Department of Public Works and the county attorney. So that's the navigation agreements.
So I guess the only problem I have with that is we cannot file those easements until the maps are filed. So they will be filed concurrently because the easements reference the maps.
That'd be fine. So we're just saying they got to be filed.
Yes.
So they get
Okay.
filed with the subdivision.
Yeah, just sometimes when you say
Yeah.
condition of approval before the town will sign it, that condition needs to be satisfied.
Well, they'll be in the documents we're signing, right? They'll be in the subdivision documents, right?
Yes, they are all in the subdivision.
Okay.
document. The actual
That's fine.
easement gets filed.
Yeah, it'll be all satisfied prior to the issuance.
Well, it'd be satisfied prior to the issuance of building permits. So you're going to file the subdivision before you issue building permits. All right. Second, submission of acceptable evidence to the town building department that a homeowners association has been established with the authority and responsibility for maintaining the mail kiosk outside of the highway right of way and for maintaining the pull off and sidewalk of the right of way as depicted in the final plat.
Again, that's
So it's
prior to
You wanted that to say prior to second,
second building permit?
that fine?
Yeah, we can change that.
I can say it right in here. Okay. Third, payment to the town of all invoice professional review fees and certified funds by a payment method acceptable to town. That's typical. Dedication of the public infrastructure to the satisfaction of the town. They won't be dedicating it prior to the issuance of building permits, though.
We won't be dedicating that until
well
Probably
after.
a couple of years.
I think prior.
So if we have the performance guarantees, covers it. So I'm going to take that out. Okay. Okay, now this is it. So receipt of any required approvals from the Saratoga County Department of Public Works and Department of Health. So we got to get their final sign off, right?
Public Works,
Is the aviation agreement, which you're going to have. They're the ones overseeing the airport.
okay,
And the Department of Health, which you've got and or will have.
right, so do they need to be separate conditions? So one is, prior to the town
On the
stamping the
abrogation one
final
on top.
plans, we need a letter from DOH. And again, we're getting back to the abrogation easement. That's not going to be filed until county road.
And do you have the county road? Do you have to have the county sign off on the 4-way interchange? You have that, but
I believe we have that. I believe it's been provided. If not, it's-
Yeah, if I can weigh it. So we would need the final approval, the final document for DPW for the off-site traffic improvements for the intersection upgrade. So, and they would need to get a highway work permit in order to do so. So we would want to articulate the fact that
okay.
DPW would still be invested in the project in terms of executing those traffic improvements off-site. If not for the other easement, but I understand what you're saying, like you've indicated conceptually and in prior conversation, it looks like everything was established in terms of the language between the county, the applicant. And so understanding that those are filed concurrently, that easement language would end up as an exhibit, probably as part of that subdivision plat. I think that makes sense. I think the DPW comment for me, I think is primarily related to the offset.
It's the traffic.
Next up.
So we're saying receipt of any required approvals from the Saratoga Department of Public Works and Health and New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, which is that final thing you got to have. You don't need any DOT approvals in here. No, and health is out. Health is now out, right?
It's now just Saratoga County.
Yes. Okay. Okay, and then lastly, pursuant to code section 154-14A, execution and filing of the town clerk a performance bond or other security in the amount of blank. We don't know yet. You're going to have to come to agreement on that dollar amount. And in such final form, sufficiency and execution satisfactory to the town board and town council for guaranteed improvements. That's that final. You've given a list of improvements that need to be done. We're going to need the performance surety to get them, since you won't be dedicating it. So,
Till such time that they're completed, inspected, and as-built are provided.
yes.
I don't know if this is helpful or not helpful, but does it make sense to contemplate removing the dollar value for the performance guarantee and just indicate that pursuant to that town code section 154-14, execution and filing with the town clerk a performance bond and in such final form, sufficiency, manner of execution as is satisfactory to the town?
Fine,
We
because
understand
the
that-
dollar amount will have to be part of that.
I guess that's my question. Does the actual dollar value have to be part of this resolution?
Not part of the resolution, but you're going to have to come up with a dollar.
Perfect.
Because I think we've seen a list. We've got a list of this has got to be done, this,
Right.
the stormwater, the road, the whatever.
Right.
You guys have to banter about how much money is that going to be and come to agreement to it.
Right, and so in coordination with the town designated engineer and that, I think that we can navigate that as a.
Yes, so it's going to be a bond or other surety in such final form, sufficiency and matter. So it's going to be a dollar amount at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there it'd be the 6 conditions would be filing with the county clerk of the easement benefiting the Saratoga County Airport, submission of acceptable evidence to the building department that a homeowners association has been issued prior to the second building permit, payment to the town of all invoiced professional review fees up to date, receipt of any required approvals from the Saratoga County DPW and Health and New York State DEC, and then pursuant to code section 154-14A, filing with the town clerk a bond or other security in such final form, sufficiency and manner execution satisfactory to the town board and the town council.
So I agree to all of those conditions. I guess it's just, do we need to add a time frame as to when those conditions need to
It says at the beginning, prior to the issuance of any building permits.
Okay, sorry, I missed
The,
that.
the one separate one is the second permit for the homeowners agreement. So yes, sorry, the beginning says satisfied prior to the issuance of building permits.
That works.
Everybody understand those conditions? So I don't have to read them again? Oh,
Well, that's it.
well, that would be the payment of invoice. No, we'll put it in there. 7,
Hey, now,
payment of park and rec fees.
talk to the buyer.
I was gonna say, save money in the long.
It is a code requirement anyway, so it doesn't have to be in here, but it's nice to have it all.
We'll put it in payment of the park and rec fees. Okay. Okay. So first, I'm going to entertain a motion to waive the public hearing that's supposed to be required, if everybody agrees with that for a final plat. Okay. So now I will entertain a motion to waive the public hearing for a final plat approval for a major subdivision at 272 Stone Church Road, finding that such plat is in substantial agreement with the preliminary plat for said major subdivision approved on February 12th, 2025.
I'll make the motion.
These second.
I'll second.
Ray, any discussion? Not, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Yes. Mandanza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Miss Marin,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes. Okay, then having before us a duly filed application for a final major subdivision plat for 272 Stone Church Road, having completed our seeker obligations and coordinator reviews, I will entertain a motion at 272 I would entertain a motion to approve a 35 lot major subdivision at 272 Stone Church Road. We have a date of the final plat dated. Do you have,
6/25, I believe.
I gotta go back to that one.
you got that?
It's on the
Yeah,
6th.
the first.
August
right here.
27th, 2024.
August 6th. I have August 6th, 2025.
That looks like the last revision
Mhm.
to plan set the cover page. It was based on county comments.
Submission, I have on here on the cover sheet. And this is a record, well, I'm seniors right here. Yeah, we have a record of submittals and the last date is
I can't read it.
29 submission to this board. That's what's on.
Yeah, we've got two different.
Yeah,
We have two different dates, I think, that we can refer to the final plan set by. And next to the title, under the revision date log, the last updated plan was conducted on August 6, 2025, which seems, it sounds like it's up to the board's measure of comfort in how you want to reference these plans, but whether it's by record of submittals. which has a-
I would like to have the date of the plan that's going to be the one we sign. So those would be the plats. Are they going to be, the plats are going to be dated August 6, 2025, or are they going to be the record of submission date? How are you going to submit them?
I just, nothing should change, so. The dates that are on this plan should be fine, either the record of work at 10/29 or the revision date of 6.
August 6.
Yeah.
I think that's the plat is August 6.
I think let's go with the plat.
Okay, so August 6,
It's the record of submittal
2025,
for the planning board.
subject to those 7 conditions that I'm not going to reread. Everybody's good with that. Okay? Everybody good with that? Okay. Do I have a motion?
Also move.
A little. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? In line, there being none, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Mandanza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Miss Marin, Chairman Barto.
Yes. So we will update the resolution, get that to you in the next day or two. You get us plats, Mylars, we'll sign them.
Beautiful. Thank you and.
And boy, this one's, sorry, one of this is our brothers had to pass away in the time frame we went through this.
Almost had two, but.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Okay,
We still got three and they're static.
okay. Is there any other business to be brought before this board this evening? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:05 PM. Motion,
I'll make the motion.
Jim Frey, second. Bernadette Van Ness, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? None.